Hello and welcome. In today's video, I think this is going to end up being like a three-part video. I'm going to talk about all of my favorite eyeshadow palettes in each brand. So if you like that kind of content, make sure you stay tuned. Hello and welcome. Oh, hello, my friends. New or returning, I truly appreciate you being here. Yes, this was one of my comments from a previous video, had mentioned, why don't you do a video on your favorite palettes from each brand? And I said, well, why not? I have a lot of palettes and a lot of brands, so why not? So again, because there are so many different brands that I own, I'm going to split this up into three parts. So we're going to start with the more affordable, and it doesn't mean drugstore or, you know what I mean, mainstream, doesn't mean anything. That it's just based on price. So we're going to go based on price, and then, for affordable, then we're going to go more high-end, mainstream, you know what I mean, like in kind of that realm. And then we're going to go indie brands separately. Whew. So if you like this kind of content, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe down below, turn on all notifications, and otherwise let's just get into this video because this is going to be a fun one. All right, yes, so because I have so many eyeshadow palettes and so many different brands, I just thought it'd make more sense to break these up. Otherwise, this video could get very, very long. So I'm going to try to make this quick. I'm not going to do swatches, anything like that. I'm just going to simply show you the palettes that I like the best, or, my favorite palette from each brand, and give you a little bit of reasoning of why. Now, the brands that I'm including, I tried to make sure they were brands that I've at least tried a couple of palettes, I've maybe had for a while, kind of know my thoughts, or that I have multiple palettes of, that I could, really pick and choose which palette I like the best. So yeah, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with our drugstore or more affordable version. So here we go. All right, so I'm just gonna start with the palette I have in front of me, and we're just gonna go down the line. So one of the more affordable brands that I have here is e.l.f. and one of my favorite little palettes from I love these little bite-sized eyeshadow palettes. Now this one I have is Cream and Sugar, which I just love this color story. It's just perfect everyday neutral type of palette, and it's just such good quality. They'd be only $3 or $4, how much they are now, but like whatever, still they're very affordable, very good quality. So this is really like my favorite, like these bite-sized quads are my favorite from e.l.f. So really like those. All right, next we have Essence, one of my favorite palettes from them. When they come up with these little 6-pan palettes, the Dancing Green eyeshadow palette. I just love this color story. I think this is great quality. These really surprised me, but this is my favorite out of these 6 pans. I love this color story, and I think this has great quality. So that would be my favorite from Essence. Now, a quick second, but again, I couldn't really because it's too new for me to really say, but these Disney Villains ones, this Ursula palette is really good from Essence. So I'm just going to throw that in there so you can check them out, but it's a really, really good palette and really good quality. So I highly recommend the Disney Villains collab they've done recently, if you can get your hands on it. Sorry, I kind of cheated through that one in there. BH Cosmetics. Now, again, this is before the whole change of everything going on, so I don't know anything about the brand now as far as quality, that kind of thing. I haven't tried anything since they kind of rebranded or were bought out by Revolution Beauty or whatever. So this is the Love in London, which unfortunately is discontinued, but it is my favorite palette. Still stands as my favorite palette. I like more neutral, cooler tone, shadows, and then this just embodies that. And after all this time, it's still great quality. This palette, the metallics are just amazing. The mattes perform well. Love this palette. It is my favorite, or one of my favorites from BH Cosmetics. Next, we have Wet n Wild, this Always Naked palette that I talked about, that I discovered like late last spring, maybe early summer, from Jessica Braun. I love this palette. It is gorgeous. It's great quality. It's just amazing. Now, the only thing is this does have a glitter, so if that turns you off, that might be, something that keeps you away from this. But these shimmer metallic shades in here are gorgeous. This thing is great quality. The packaging is very, cheap and whatever, but for $8, $9, I mean, I'm okay with that. And what's inside matters most. So I love that palette though. J-Cat Beauty, which kind of surprised me. The Viva La Musical palette. It's a 24-pan palette. I just think this palette is beautiful, and these shimmer metallic shades are just gorgeous. They performed so well. I was highly impressed for the money I spent on this. It was well worth the few dollars I spent on this. And I know I'm sure I got it on sale because I always try to get my stuff on sale. So, but it's gorgeous. I really like the J-Cat formula. I'm very impressed. And I think it was Andrea Mattiliano that, Andrea, however you say her name, is who hipped me onto that. So thank you. I like it. Really like it. All right, Juvia's Place. I kind of went back and forth. I wasn't sure which one to pick from them because, I mean, I like a lot of their palettes, but this Wahala palette just really caught my eye. Mainly because of this row of purples. I love these shades, but I just love this. I think it's such a pretty color story, and I think these perform really, really well. And just overall, it's a really nice palette. So I do have a few other ones that I really like from Juvia's Place, but this one just really caught my eye. I really like this palette. So NYX. Now I only have a few eyeshadow palettes from NYX. I kind of steered away from them. I don't know if it's the price point because they seem a little pricey to be a drugstore brand, but this is the Ultimate Utopia palette, and I made a look with this back in like the spring, and I forgot how good this palette was. And I love this color story. I love these cooler tones you have here. You have warmer tones. I mean, it's just a beautiful mix. I love this palette and just the amount of shadows you get. You know, I think, you know, as far as price, you definitely get more for your money with this bigger palette. So, but I was highly impressed. I really like that palette. Now, again, I said this was not going to be like drugstore. This is more affordable. So this is kind of borderline, but the everyday faves from Ulta Beauty. I think this retails for $20, but you can always find a sale. Ulta is always doing a sale. So wait for a sale and you'll definitely get it for less expensive than that. But I really like this palette. These shimmer, you know, satin shades, whatever they are, is such nice quality. And then the mattes blend really, really well. I was really impressed with this palette. So it's definitely one of my favorites from Ulta. And I don't have a huge amount of shadows or, you know what I mean, eyeshadow palettes from Ulta, but the ones that I've tried, this is definitely one of my favorites. Jason Wu, I just kind of threw this in here just to kind of give you some input on it. But this is the matte agave palette. As I spoke of earlier before, I really like this matte palette. The shimmers, I have another palette that I bought more recently that I don't like as much, but I do really like his mattes. I think they perform really, really well. They're easy to work with, blend out easily, they last. I was really highly impressed with his matte formula. Shimmers, I'm kind of on the fence with, but the all matte palette I really, really do like. So that is my favorite from that. All right, Sephora, again, more affordable. As far as I'm concerned, this palette cost me, I think, $6-7 maybe. This is the pocket palette, the one I'm always talking about. It's the cold brown tones. It is definitely my favorite. I love this color story. I love this taupey shade right there. This is me in a small palette. So I just love this palette. I've talked about it a lot, so I'm not gonna, you know, bore you with more information about it, but it is definitely one of my favorites from Sephora. Again, I did try to make sure I included as many as I could that were still like current palettes, but I can't lie, there are some that I just love that unfortunately are still no longer here. One of them being Milani, the Soft and Sultry palette. Again, that cool tone color story just gets me. I love this palette. It's so pretty, and I even swatched it the other day. The metallics or satin, whatever, they still perform like it's brand new. I mean, it's gorgeous. Mattes are really, really nice. It's just one of my favorite color stories from Milani. I love that palette. So sad it's no longer, but LA Girl, again, another brand that I really, really love their eyeshadow palettes, their eyeshadow formula. This is the Keep It Playful and Downplay. It is definitely one of my favorite palettes from them. I love this color story. Again, that more neutral to slightly cool. That is just me in a palette. So I love this. Metallics are beautiful. They perform really well. Even after all this time, they still perform really, really well. I really like that palette. Now, one from Profusion that I just cannot get myself to get rid of because these metallics are so good. It's the Peaches palette. Now, this thing is old. I think I've had this maybe going on 3 years now. But these metallics just perform like they're brand new. I mean, they're gorgeous. You wouldn't think. Now, this doesn't really give me a peachy vibe, so I mean, you know, I guess a little bit, but I don't know. But it's beautiful. It's a beautiful palette. It's definitely my favorite from them. I think the formula is so, so good. And then Colourpop. I didn't know which one of these to show. One of my favorite, all-time favorite is Going Coconuts. Love this palette. This shade in the center there is just gorgeous. It's a gorgeous metallic shade. So I always forget the name of it. Cocoa Crush. Yeah, I'm like, I should know that. But yeah, that is definitely one of my favorite palettes, but a very close runner-up, or, you know, like right there with it is Rock Candy. And again, I think the reason I want to choose this one is because you're getting more bang for your buck. It's a bigger palette, which I know is not for everybody, but if you're somebody that doesn't have a large collection, you can get so much out of just this one palette, and it's gorgeous. I love this palette. And again, you know, Colourpop's always running sales, so never get their stuff full price unless it's just something that you see just launched that you just have to have, or that's limited edition and you're just like, yeah, I want it now. I would wait for a sale. But yeah, I know there's a very quick rundown, but again, I did try to make this quick because, you know, again, I know some of these videos can get pretty long. So I was like, well, maybe if I divide this up a little bit, go a little bit faster. And yeah, I won't feel like I'm, you know, running everybody's ears off, like just talking nonstop. So anyways, but yeah, let me know, what are your favorite palettes from these brands? Did I forget any of your favorite drugstore brands? I was trying to think of all the ones that I like to have, you know, a lot of palettes from. So, I mean, I'm sure there's a brand I could have forgotten. So I'm sorry if I did, but let me know down below. I'd love to hear from you. Otherwise, if you enjoy this content, please make sure you give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe down below, turn on all notifications, and otherwise, have an amazing day. Hope to see you in my next video. Bye. I truly appreciate your, I can feel it, I'm running out of juice, but I think I did that one pretty quick. I mean, I didn't do any swatches, so that helped. Okay, I think I'm done. I think I'm good with that one. So we're gonna do 2 more videos and we're done. Oh my God, help me. Okay, see you later, bye.